This topic of hope. Henry Nouwen says, hope expects the coming of something new. Hope looks ahead towards that which is not yet. I see hope as an attitude where everything stays open before me. To go fearlessly into things without knowing how they will turn out. I have hope. Every Sunday morning on my way to Unity of Augusta, I hope. I hope that I get a red light at one specific intersection so that I can take a picture of the scene that morning. And every Sunday morning I post it on Facebook. So when I get that red light, it gives me enough time to snap a picture, put it on Facebook every Sunday morning. And this morning, it was foggy and rainy, and it was still a beautiful picture. I hope for that red light every Sunday morning. And so far, I've gotten it. I also have hope for many other things that I feel passionately about, things that, you ever have one of those moments that you feel like you just want to get on a soapbox and talk about it? You have that moment? Yeah, okay. About these things that I brought my own soapbox. I have hope. I have great hope that we will create a world where we can put down those tools that we use to kill and injure one another. The knives, the guns, the fists, the words, the actions that we use to hurt one another. I hope. I hope that we can create a world where every person is honored for who they are, regardless of the beautiful shade of their skin, regardless of what gender they identify, regardless of who they love or how they love. Oh my gosh, it's that they love. I hope that we can create a world where we welcome and embrace every person and how they practice their faith and make their way to God, source, by whatever name we call that essence and energy that is bigger than we can ever comprehend. I hope for those things. I hope with all my heart that we as a people can come together and put aside everything that divides and separates us and see that we are all from the same source, the same seed, the same love. There is nothing that separates us except our own minds. I hope for a day when we look at another, that we look into the eyes of another person knowing with 100% conviction that we will never look into the eyes of a person that God does not love. No matter how they anger us and irritate us, God loves them with the same ferocity that God loves us as individuals. And I keep that hope. And I hold that hope. And when I look at you who gather here and how you live and practice, that hope grows into faith that one day we will experience a loving, peaceful, kind world. That hope is deepened into that deep, abiding faith that knows for certain that we are one. Those are the things that I hope for. What do you hope for? Every day, not just this time of Advent, but every day we hold hope. Hope carries us into that deep, abiding faith, where we see that presence of God, the divine, and we know for certain that looking at another, they are divine. When we hold ourselves in the mirror in the morning, we know that we are divine, but we know that we are loved by God. It begins with us, deep inside of ourselves. And why is this hope and faith important anyway? In her book, Intrinsic Hope, Dr. Kate Davis says very plainly and very clearly, life is inherently hopeful. Life itself, just as love and happiness is inherently hopeful. And this idea of intrinsic hope carries us beyond expectations that life's going to give us what we want. Sometimes. But I can assure you that in my life, I may not have gotten what I wanted, and I have been spared enormous suffering by not having what I thought I wanted. And by not getting what I want, I was carried into, adventures that I could never have imagined. I didn't have the sense to imagine this. Instead of this hopefulness, we move into trust. We move into trusting that whatever is happening in our life is happening for us. And we get to choose how we respond to it. Those wonderful, beautiful, graceful moments when everything's going our way, and those other moments. We get to trust. We get to stand firm in faith, knowing that something good will emerge in the end if we take that bigger perspective. If we wait a minute or two or 10,000, something good will emerge for us. Or from this mess before us, we create something that is good and rich and deep and meaningful. We have the ability to do that. So in a recent conversation with a friend, I heard them say, here we go, something magical is going to happen. Can you imagine living everyday life just waiting for something magical to happen? What a way to go through life, knowing that something magical is going to happen every minute. You know the hope is an inside job. We cultivate that inside, just like we cultivate happiness, just like we cultivate joy, just like we cultivate love. It's more than an optimistic outlook. When we turn ourselves just to positivity, we tend to bypass some of the issues that rise for us, some of the opportunities to learn, some of the opportunities to really dig deep and practice these spiritual laws and these principles. It's more than just saying, oh, God's all good. It's good, it's God. Those are wonderful affirmations. Hang on to them. But there's more to it than that. This idea of hopefulness is that whatever life presents us, we have the ability to navigate it. God doesn't put us in a mess to abandon us. We experience things in life so that we can grow our consciousness, so that we can be better examples for the rest of the world what living these truths looks like and feels like. We get to deepen our faith every time we navigate a hurdle, every time we overcome a challenge, every time we experience life. We get to deepen our faith and broaden our consciousness and our awareness and our love and our compassion. In her book, she also says if there was ever a reason for hope, it is that life is constantly being recreated and reborn. Birth always follows death. Like day always follows night. Spring follows winter. The cycle of life goes on. We just experience the beauty of fall. All those wonderful leaves that created the nice shady canopy over my yard in the summer are now on the ground. And it's still beautiful. So how might we cultivate hope? It's described in Hebrews 11, 1-3. Now faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not yet see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith we understand that the universes were formed in God's command, so that what is seen is not what? It's made visible. So how can we have faith that allows us to see what is being made from what we don't see? We can't see spirit. We can feel the presence of spirit. We can see the result of spirit. That's the energy that moves. We can cultivate hope by being present, by being acutely present to this moment. Now, I'm sure that throughout our time together, our thoughts have wandered. I lost track of where we were in the service. A few odd looks, and I found my way again. Yes. Bewildered looks. It's participating in this moment and no other. It's participating in life as it happens, not as an afterthought. It's a time when we stop looking at the past and rehashing it and reliving it. You ever do that? Those conversations, those family events, you might be rehashing Thanksgiving dinner, things that happen. We can stop that. And it is letting go of anxiousness about the future. Scripture tells us we don't add a moment to our life by worrying. So being anxious about the future takes us away from the beauty of this, here and now, right in this moment. Being present means living every moment just as it is, and not wishing it to be different. Oh my, say that again. Living in the present is living every moment just as it is, and not wishing it to be different. Living present means that we're giving up the rigid attachment to what is supposed to be. Because what's supposed to be is only in our mind. If it was supposed to be, it would be. We make that up. Living in the present moment holds our intentions, and we set our intentions, and then we release them to the universe, knowing that the universe will support our highest good always. It has to. It can only do that. And we let it go and let our highest good evolve. And Isaiah 43 says, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell in the past. See, I am doing new things. Now Spirit lifts us up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the desert and the stream in the wasteland." So however life is needing to unfold for us, our way will be made clear. We can nurture hopefulness by being mindful. And by being mindful, it's noticing our thoughts, noticing our feelings, noticing our heart pulls, our desires, and all of our emotions. It's noticing them and not judging them. Oh, I'm feeling anger. Well, that's not a very nice thing to feel, so that has to go away. No, feel the anger. Don't do anything about it. Don't do anything from that space of anger, but feel the anger. Maybe it's coming to alert you to something. Maybe a relationship that needs to change. Maybe a job that needs to go. Whatever it is, anger may be coming to inform us. So whatever the feeling, just notice, I feel happy. I feel sad. Just notice it. Mark Nepo says, every feeling, every thought has a course. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Every thought and every feeling. It'll come and it'll go. Do you feel the same as you felt when you woke up this morning? Probably have had a few emotions come and go this morning. They will come and they will go. When we notice them, we don't have to judge them. We can just allow them to be. And by practicing mindfulness, we become aware. It's not a me mindfulness. It's noticing so that we can create space to choose how we show up in the world. If I am mindful that I'm feeling a little bit cranky, a little bit tired, or a little bit hungry, I might step away from a group for a little while and tend to my needs, nurture myself so that I can rejoin a group with good positive energy, what I would choose to contribute to an experience. And that's what being mindful does. It allows us to notice where we are and what's moving in us, and then to decide, is that what we want to contribute to the world in that moment? If it's not, we can tend to ourselves. If it is, we can carry on and live. In January 2023, I'm going to begin sharing with you a weekly mindfulness practice. It's from a book called How to Tame a Wild Elephant and Other Mindfulness Practices. So every week we'll have a mindfulness activity to practice together. And if you have children, do it with your children. It's a lot of fun to notice how things show up in the course of the week. So hope grows when we practice gratefulness. So on Thanksgiving Day, did everyone find something to be grateful for? And how about the day after Thanksgiving? Still? And yesterday? Still? And how about this morning? Still grateful? It's a practice to notice what is moving in life, what is present in your life. And here we are. We can begin with this, that we're here awake, alert, breathing, living. And we can practice that gratitude. When our hearts are grateful, when we consciously move to something or someone that we're grateful for, we open our heart. I have a grandson who's 9, and he asked if he could come to my house yesterday because he didn't want to do what the girls were doing, and I just couldn't wait for him to get there. I woke up extremely early, did all my morning routine, and waited. And waited and waited for about 2 hours for the little guy to get there. And I'm so grateful for his presence. He reminds me that I'm energetic, that I'm lively, that there's fun to be had in life. And I'm so grateful for his presence. I can't wait to see how he moves in the world as time goes on, because he impacts me in huge ways. It's remarkable. 1 Thessalonians says, rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in all circumstances. Sometimes I'm able to give thanks immediately, like knowing that my grandson's coming. I can move to gratitude immediately. And sometimes it takes a minute to feel the gratitude for a hurtful experience or a sad experience. And yet, when we practice gratitude, we remember to find the good, to seek the gift. We know that the gift will emerge. Hope emerges when we are loving, so we can be loving. I believe that our soul's purpose is to be in this human experience to love one another. I take that commandment quite seriously, to love God, love ourselves and to love others without boundaries, without condition, not just loving the people who agree with us. Let's practice loving the ones who don't agree with us. And sometimes it's easier for us to show love to a stranger than it is to show love to those people that we have long, deep histories with. But that's where the richness grows, when that person who is most difficult for us to love, when we put them in the center of our love, practice blessing them. The book, The Gentle Art of Blessing, is just a wonderful book. And we can share blessings with everyone, always. Every faith tradition, Hindu, Wiccan, Buddhist, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, all have a tenet around love. In Islam, the Quran says, only want for your brother what you would want for yourself. So when we practice that love, as every faith asks to do, we are open and looking at others with the same eyes that God looks upon us, with compassion and kindness. Knowing there's an idea that some people subscribe to that either you are being love or you are asking for love. And when our children ask for love, what do? We love them. So when we as adults ask for love, maybe we could love them. If someone's acting out in a way that's screaming for love, or would we withhold that love? No. We can share that love. There are a lot of ways, and there's a lot of being to cultivate hope. Being mindful, being present, being grateful, being loving. So there's a lot of being. So if you wonder how we can hold hope in the craziness of this world, my friend and Unity minister, Reverend Michael Gott, has written a beautiful Christmas song. It's titled Heaven's Gift. And I'll spare you singing it, but I will share these words. They are one hope, one heart, one light, love, one light, bright, clear, true. The light is here in you. You are one hope. You are one love. You are one heart. And you are one light. You are that light. That someone, somewhere is waiting for your light in a way that only you can shine. So stand in your faith and be that light. Be that light for yourself and be your light for that other person who's just waiting to see your light. These gifts of Advent just give me so much joy to share. Namaste.